ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। अष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतिरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। मम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन्यति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Okay. 1528. इत्थं शरत्प्रावृषिकावृतो हरेर्विशृण्वतो मेनुः स्वं यशोमलं सङ्कीर्त्यमानं मुनिभिर्महात्मभिर्भक्तिप्रवृत्तात्मा रजस्तमोपहा. Thus, during two seasons, the rainy season and autumn, I had the opportunity to hear these great-souled sages constantly chant the unadulterated glories of the Lord Hari. As the flow of my devotional service began, the coverings of the modes of passion and ignorance vanished. So, like we discussed in the last verse, so Narada Muni had already achieved asakti and bhava. Now, and then he had directly experienced the Lord. Um, and it was very easy for him to fix his eye and mind and everything on the Lord because bhava had developed. So the senses gave up practice of fixing themselves on material sense objects. Senses gave up the practice of fixing themselves on material sense objects, to which they had been long accustomed. Okay, now constantly heard the unadulterated glories of the Lord chanted by those great sages. Then he developed prema. The flow of my devotional service began. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that this means prema. And when prema appears, then it destroys rajas and tamas. Transcendental loving service for the Supreme Lord is the natural inclination of every living being. Please note, it is not just devotional service for the Supreme Lord. It is loving service for the Supreme Lord is the natural inclination of every living being. The instinct is dormant in everyone. But due to the association of material nature, the modes of passion and ignorance cover this from time immemorial. If, by the grace of the Lord and the great-souled devotees of the Lord, a living being becomes fortunate enough to associate with the unadulterated devotees of the Lord and gets a chance to hear the unadulterated glories of the Lord, certainly the flow of devotional service takes place like the flow of a river. Actually, so I am actually here in Bangalore. It's my Guru Maharaj's Vyas Puja on 27. So I was just seeing the video of all the devotees. And I was actually feeling uh, this separation uh, because most of them uh, are somehow or the other fully dedicated in the service of the Lord. So many brahmacharis, uh, even grihasthas, very completely. Uh, so just by looking at them, I felt purified today. I was just seeing the video. So this is so by the grace of the Lord and great soul devotees, a living being becomes fortunate to associate with unadulterated devotees. And unadulterated devotees means they are not uh, worried about their. Uh, I mean, Bhagavad Gita, Krishna even says they're not even worried about their livelihood or how they're going to live. To that extent, they're just simply uh, wanting to serve the Lord. So they're completely pure. They have no, forget about having expectations about karma and gnana. They don't even have expectations about just existing in this world. Also, they just simply depend on the Lord. Prabhupada actually in Bhagavad Gita says, such a pure devotee, describing here, pure devotee in the 12th chapter, he says, he lives without care. Without care. Meaning he's just not bothered. He's just not bothered about his, how he's living, etc., etc. He's just simply completely engrossed in the service of the Lord. If we can associate with such devotees and get a chance to hear the unadulterated glories of the Lord, certainly the flow of devotional service takes place. So simply it is very, very important the quality of our hearing. Yesterday also we discussed this. Again, this theme keeps coming up repeatedly. So because those unadulterated devotees have already Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena Santa Sadaiva Hridayeshu Vilokayanti. Em Shama Sundaram Achintya Gunaswarupam Govindamadi Purusham Tamam Bhajami. So they literally have Shama Sundara residing in their heart. So when they narrate, when they chant the glories, unadulterated glories of the Lord, it directly enters our heart. There's no other option. Mm. And when that happens, certainly the flow of devotion service takes place. I've been thinking about this. We are all, at least I can talk about myself, very hard-hearted. Mm. Because of being hard-hearted, again, we discussed this, because of being affected by the modes of nature, we don't even let the unadulterated glories enter the heart. The heart is so steel framed that even the glories of the Lord, we don't actually let it enter. Meaning we don't hear with full concentration. We don't hear to get affected by it. We simply hear for knowledge. Actually, we should not hear for knowledge. Knowledge anyway we will get. If we are hearing attentively, we'll anyway get knowledge. Hmm. But we should hear for change of heart, change in heart. Right? The heart has to change. Heart has to melt. Then the flow of devotional service takes place. And we discussed this before also in Madhurya Kadambini also. Bhakti samjayate bhakti. From bhakti, bhakti arises. So these unadulterated devotees of the Lord have bhakti in their heart. And so when they speak about the unadulterated glories of the Lord, then that bhakti flows from their heart to our heart. So this really, hearing, right, this unadulterated hearing, constant hearing, because here the great souls were constantly chanting the unadulterated glories. So fortunate souls were constantly hearing the unadulterated glories, right? And the boy was there, he was constantly hearing. Like we were discussing. Bhakti Siddhant Saraswati Thakur, what was the duration of his classes? Anybody knows? For how long was the typical Bhakti Siddhant Saraswati Thakur's class used to go on for how long?
3 hours.
3 hours. 3 hours, actually, we can't imagine. 30 minutes we can't sit. Uh, and 3 hours, sitting 3 hours and not sleeping. um, not sleeping, right? And Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, we know, right? Just by his writing, if anybody has tried to read Brahma Samhita, He'll understand what is his caliber. Um, so it's not even like some story. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur never used to say any story. Right? So heavy philosophy for 3 hours. Anybody who can sit through that. That is why he was so impressed with Abhay Charan. Hmm. He likes to hear. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said. And no wonder. I mean, Srila Prabhupada created this, from nowhere, ISKCON worldwide. Because he had that quality of hearing. He had that quality of hearing. Many times when you go to Dham, we are always ready to go. We are only enthusiastic to go see places. And all the devotees are going to see Sheshashai. eh, and in Vrindavan. And Prabhupada said, I can come back and see Sheshashai anytime. But when will I get to hear? Of course, those days, all this hi-fi technology, etc., was not available. But so it still shows how that so many devotees, maybe they are, they went to see Sheshashai, and Srila Prabhupada remained to hear from Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And that is unadulterated, pure devotee, mm, pure flow of pure glories of the Lord. And Srila Prabhupada manifested. Of course, he is anyway eternal associate of the Lord, but he manifested the stages, advanced stages of bhakti. Mm. And the same thing when we hear Prabhupada. But Prabhupada was so merciful, actually, merciful in the sense, realistically, he saw that people are not able to sit through even half an hour of his class. So if you see in the initial days, most of his classes recordings are just 30 minutes. And I was wondering why. Because people were not ready. People were not purified to hear that. So Prabhupada just gave 30 minutes. Hmm. Then he would say, chant Hare Krishna. Right? So his whole process was give some philosophy, let them chant, 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 chant. Hmm. So more and more Hare Krishna Mahamantra, then they become purified. Then his classes, duration of his classes increased. Hmm. So if we are really pure, we can sit and hear for any number of hours Krishna Katha. And Krishna Katha doesn't just mean stories. Actually, Krishna Katha means both philosophy and pastime. So we have to have the taste. That is real ruchi. Ruchi to just hear pastimes, anybody will have, even a neophyte will have. Of course, I mean, when we make progress in devotional service, the way we hear the same pastime should be very different from, how we have possibly heard when we were in an initial stage of bhakti. But we should also be ready to hear philosophy. As the river flows on till she reaches the sea, similarly, pure devotional service flows by the association of pure devotees till it reaches the ultimate goal, namely transcendental love of God. See, so much, it looks so easy. Looks so easy simply by association of pure devotees. But this association means really taking association, not just being physically present. Of course, being physically present around these pure devotees also has its own impact. But if if a jiva is not there, present there, then while they might get some benefit, but not this benefit of reaching the ultimate goal. Mm. Such a flow of devotional service cannot stop. On the contrary, it increases more and more without limitation. The flow of devotional service is so potent that any onlooker also becomes liberated from the influence of the modes of passion and ignorance. See, if a pure devotee has devotional service, even an onlooker can become liberated from the influence of modes of passion and ignorance. These two qualities of nature are thus removed, and the living being is liberated, being situated in his original position. So, one of the things we should also try, we've discussed this before, is to actually live our life in the mode of goodness, as in create an environment, create a situation for ourselves such that we actually are in the mode of goodness. Mm. So that is very, very important. If our life is full of mode of passion and ignorance, then it'll be a natural obstacle to Shravanam, association, everything. Right. So somehow we should uh, we should what should we say? Mm, live life, or we should create such a situation, environment in our life such that we can live free of passion and ignorance. Mm. And this is very, very important because more and more we are engaged during the day in passion and ignorance, and the less progress we can make. And willingly we should not engage in with passion and ignorance. Anarthas are there, it'll hit us, then yeah, then we are struggling. But if we are willingly engaging, associating with modes of passion and ignorance, willingly, so please, this word is very, very important. We might be forced to be in a situation of passion and ignorance, but as long as we don't associate with that, many times we know, I mean, many devotees have struggles with their family, etc., modes of passion and ignorance. But we should not willingly engage. Yeah, we are there. We can keep praying to Krishna to help us out or to change the environment to make it more sattvic. But we should not willingly engage with modes of passion and ignorance. So for which actually I recommend all of you read Bhagavad Gita from chapter 14 onwards, description of the modes, three modes. And actually Krishna says one who understands this actually becomes liberated. Because then we know that okay, then we will start recognizing our actions and say okay, whatever, right? Determination. Okay, my determination is in the mode of ignorance. My faith is in the mode of passion. Something else is in the mode of goodness. So we will understand ourselves better, and then those aspects of our life where we are in the mode of passion and ignorance, we should slowly, steadily move it up, upgrade from ignorance to passion, passion to goodness. So I told this before also. Vidwan Prabhu said, practice to live in mode of ignorance, mode of goodness. So we have to practice. We might fail, but we should practice. Mm. So this is very, very important. That is the reason why keeping life simple is very, very helpful, is very beneficial. If we keep our life simple in terms of what we eat, what we wear, what we think, what we speak, kind of things we engage in, it becomes much easier because simple things are mostly in mode of goodness. Not necessarily all the time, but generally. Simple means, example, uh, like many brahmacharis, they don't have smartphones. Simple, right? Just takes care of the requirement, which is to connect with people as required. So the good old uh, phone. And it is simple and it prevents them from engaging in passion and ignorance, which is all the useless content which is out there on the internet. Right? So like that. Simple. Uh, if you have a simple wardrobe, simple. Uh, yeah, of course. I mean, we can always come to this point saying that okay, society, this, that, and all that. But we have to decide at some point of time what is important for us. Do we want to live in a world which is totally in passion, ignorance, and influencing us? Thereby, we will never be able to experience all this. Why am I harping so much on this? Right? If one might say that, okay, see, Narada Muni did not worry too much about his passion and ignorance, and when Prema happened, his coverings of passion and ignorance got vanished. Yeah, but that was some other time and age, and that was a boy who was not really he was not really affected by passion and ignorance at all, right? But looking at our situation, if we continue to encourage this life of passion and ignorance, none of these can actually, because we keep wondering, right? So bhakti is so powerful, the process is so powerful. Why are we struggling? We're struggling because we are embracing passion and ignorance. That is the reason we are struggling. Mm. So simple, right? Mobile phone, WhatsApp, passion, content, passion and ignorance. Just keep looking at the phone every now and then, passion. Simple, right? Can just drag us down, simply drag us down. Because then the mind becomes unsteady. Mind cannot remain silent without activity for a second. Right? So it's very, very important that we identify in our own lives things that push us into this passion ignorance. So please read this last literally 4 chapters of Bhagavad Gita very thoroughly, like analysis, and keep recognizing your own, where you stand with respect to the various descriptions, and make note. Hmm? Make note of all those qualities, aspects which wherein you're demonstrating passion and ignorance, and identify also what it means to be in goodness in that particular quality. Then we know that okay, I'm demonstrating this kind of quality for say determination, and that is in passion. And if I demonstrate this kind of quality, that is determination in goodness. So then try to change wherever possible. It doesn't mean that we should not try at all. The more we try, then mercy will flow. We should try. So this is very important. Yeah. Um, because when these qualities are removed, then living being is liberated. So we have to do both. We have to do bhakti strictly, and when we follow all this, whatever Narada Muni did in his previous birth, then automatically we'll come to the stage of prema. But if anything is blocking that progress, that will also be mode of passion and ignorance. So we should try to kind of get rid of it as much as possible, so that we can actually experience this progress. Mm. And emphasis on constant hearing. Constant hearing. Yeah. So this verse is not. Yeah. Okay, one more verse we'll do and then we can discuss. तस्यैव मे अनुरक्तस्य प्रश्रितस्य हतैर्न सह तद्ददानस्य बालस्य दान्तस्यानुच्चरस्य च. I was very much attached to those sages. I was gentle in behavior and all my sins were eradicated in their service. See, this is also important. As we make progress, we should become gentle in behavior. In my heart, I had strong faith in them. I had subjugated the senses and I was strictly following them with body and mind. So because he had developed prema, right? Narada Muni had developed prema, so all these qualities he automatically manifested, sense control, etc., etc. These are the necessary qualifications of a prospective devotee who can expect to be elevated to the position of pure unadulterated devotee. Such a candidate must always seek the association of pure devotees. One should not be misled by a pseudo devotee. He himself must be plain and gentle to receive the instructions of such a pure devotee. A pure devotee is a completely surrendered soul unto the personality of Godhead. He knows the personality of Godhead as the supreme proprietor and all others as his servitors. And by the association of pure devotees only, one can get rid of all sins accumulated by mundane association. Prabhupada is now saying only, which basically means what? All other processes also uh, can enable us to get rid of all sins, but all other process also should be done in the association of pure devotees. A neophyte devotee must faithfully serve the pure devotee and he should be very much obedient and strictly follow the instructions. This is the key. These are the signs of a devotee who is determined to achieve success even in the existing duration of life. So what are the signs? He is obedient and strictly following the instructions. Faithfully serves the pure devotee. So this obedience is very, very important. Nowadays, we are all wanting to be independent and strictly following. Strictly means we don't create uh, our own options or our own. Uh, you know, I'll accept something. I'll not accept something else. No, strictly follow. Okay, this has been said. Okay, this has to be followed. No reducing standards or accepting some things partially, or saying, okay, if this is convenient, I will do this. No, nothing. However difficult it is, a person who's obedient will simply strictly follow the instructions. And if he can do this, this is service to pure devotees. This is service to the pure devotees. And automatically, by serving pure devotees, we already saw all the sins will get destroyed. Hmm. So these are the signs of a devotee who is determined to achieve success. See, even in the existing duration of life. That means those who don't have these qualities, they will achieve success, but not in this duration of life, in another life. They'll have to come back for this. So simply, if we develop these qualities, uh, same thing. We've been repeating the same formula: seriousness, sincerity, obedience, surrendering to Guru. It's not new, but it's just that it takes time for us to actually accept this and actually completely be established in that position. Krishna. So we should try to incorporate these qualities, inculcate these qualities. Okay, so I think we can stop here. Mm, yeah, next verse we can discuss more. Right, so the emphasis again, three big things we have seen so far: service to pure devotees, accepting remnants, constant hearing of unadulterated glories of the Lord from unadulterated devotees, from pure devotees. The more we can engage ourselves in these, and to be able to do that, if suppose say our modes of passion and ignorance are coming in the way, then we have to somehow figure out a way, either take surrender to other devotees who can pull us up to enable us to do this. mm, so that constantly engaging in these activities, we will, as we see, the boy made progress from Ado Shraddha to Prema. Seems like a very simple process. If we actually simply willing to follow it, then we will actually achieve the perfection. And Prabhupada is very clearly saying, not mincing any words here, these are the signs of a devotee who is determined to achieve success even in the existing duration of life. So this seems to be the foundational requirement, right? That's why I said necessary qualification. Hmm. Faithfully serve the devotee, be very obedient, strictly follow instructions. Yeah. If we can do this, then I guess we can accept, we can achieve perfection even in this life. Okay, I'll stop there. Any questions, comments, suggestions?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Like what you say is very truthful, Prabhu. But from childhood, from school time to this time, we never like to be disciplined and we never like to listen.
Uh,
And what do you do?
I can answer.
We are
yeah, yeah. See, you have a
Because,
question and Prabhu has answers.
because if I will answer properly, she will yesterday I was reading quote of whose quote was there.
Uh,
Some spiritual person only.
mm-hmm.
He said, if we can't change our habit, we say it is my habit. It is my habit. So then we are not human being. Only animals cannot change their habit.
Wow. Oh,
This
very
clearly statement was there. So it is for you statement.
very, very strong. But
very, Prabhu,
yeah.
आप like there's a proverb in Hindi, सुनाना बहू को है और बोलती बेटी को है. सुनाना मेरे को dare not say something to me. आपके ad में मेरे को सुनाया गया है. So I just
Anyway,
want to display.
it's helpful. It's helpful to all of us. I think the whole point is that yeah, we have to make the effort. See if which is true, right? We might fail. See, failure is, we shouldn't be worried about failure actually, but what Krishna actually sees is whether we have made an attempt.
Yeah.
Because yes, he also knows that we are all caught up in this, like these strong ropes, gunas, ropes of passion and ignorance. But if we see, one of the things which actually I hear this from many devotees, and I tell simply one thing: if bhakti was also not powerful, so powerful that it can pull us out of modes of lower modes, why Krishna is just starting Bhagavad Gita, second chapter? He is telling Arjuna, Traigunya Visha Veda Nistraigunyam Bhava Arjuna. If it was not possible, yeah, and just imagine Arjuna's position, he's just got bewildered, right? He's like just literally crying, and Krishna is saying, hey, rise above the three modes, right? I mean, we might say he is so heartless. He could have been more caring, he should have been more caring towards Arjuna and given him some more time. Uh, no, he didn't give any time. First of all, he scolded him, Asochan Anvasojastam, like, no nice words, no nice words, because these my nice words are not going to help us. Nice words we will hear and it's fine. We are like dog's tail, right? Yeah, it's fine. Tail is like that. Right, but which is why Prabhupada also he was hard as a thunderbolt, right? You hear his lectures, you read his purports. I mean, where is he soft? Because that hard hitting is required for us. If we don't get this hard hitting, then we will be in our own comfort zone. And when that hard hitting happens, only then we will think, "Arey, oh, I just heard that if I don't even make an attempt, I'm as good as an animal. I don't want to be that. Let me try. Let me at least try." And this is change in heart, right? When a sadhu says, and then others hear and they want to follow it. So we should try. Prabhupada is saying clearly, right? Krishna is saying, why shouldn't we try? If it was not for us, if it was that we shouldn't try at all, why would have Krishna told this to Arjuna in the first place? Hmm. So we are stuck. We know that. I mean, see, uh, my my Guru Maharaj is like this. You all know, no? He's so straightforward. Uh, so many times devotees are in like and overly externally they are like very show how humility and all that. Says, Guru Maharaj, I'm very fallen. Yes, I already know that. Say something else. Say something new. Right? I mean, literally, it is not required that that those words come from him, but to those who require to hear it, he will say that. It's not that he will tell everybody, right? But he knows, okay, this devotee is just externally humble, so he'll just cut, right? So because the sadhu's work is to actually cut this nonsense that is there in us. So somehow we have to try. We have to try, and the more we hear harsh things, uh, actually it'll help us to make progress. I don't know. I mean, I'm saying this is for me, my own personal experience reading Prabhupada's books, right? Every time I read Prabhupada's books, every time I heard Prabhupada's lectures, I just felt he was hammering. He was hammering, and I was feeling like, oh my God, I mean, I'm so fallen. I can't even get anywhere close to what Prabhupada is saying, right? But that repeated hearing, and then I understood saying that I have to try. I can't just keep saying I'm fallen, I'm fallen, I'm fallen, or I have this problem, that problem. I can keep saying that and I can remain here. I can continue to remain in this material world. Nobody is going to stop me. Nobody. Krishna also will not stop me. Huh? So we have to somehow push. That is why Prabhupada said this is a pushing movement. So devotees are together because we have to push each other. If we are in comfort zone, other devotees come and say, theek hai, it's okay, nah, fine, take it easy. Devotees come to me saying I'm struggling with sadhana. I say, just make it a discipline. Yeah, I'm not disciplined, make it a discipline. Right? I have to get up at 4:45. Okay, we will enable. Okay, chalo. Okay, we will have a chanting session starting 4:45. Chalo, join. Right? So the point is we can enable. Krishna will enable. Acharyas will enable. But the attempt has to come from us. We have to attempt. We have to sincerely try. Hmm. And see, this is the only thing that is required. Why we keep talking about sincerity? See, if we know that we are not there, if we know that we are not making progress, doesn't it? I mean, shouldn't we at least be sensible enough to make an attempt to get out of that position? If you are stuck in quicksand, are we just going to remain there? We know that we're going to die in some time, whenever that is, and we are in this quicksand, and it's just dragging us down, 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 down. Are we going to just remain? We're going to call out for help, no? Sometime we are going to call out. So we have to call out for help. We have to, stretch our hands. Some devotee, hard-hitting devotee will come and hold, and then he'll pull us out. Right? But if we don't stretch our hand, if we don't give our hand in his, how is it going to work? So this is absolutely required. And we don't need anybody else. We are Prabhupada, just, you know, strong, strong, strong words. See, just see one statement saying that if these instructions, if somebody who has these qualities is determined enough to achieve perfection in this life. Now, I will not forget this statement, right? Because it's just giving us the path. So he's saying if one is obedient and sincerely, strictly follows instructions, this is qualification. It shows that he's determined to achieve success in this life. That is what we would want to achieve. So then we are clear. Okay, I have to be obedient. I have to serve pure devotees and have to strictly follow instructions. End of story. Why there has to be any discussion further? Hmm. So we have to just try. I mean, I can't emphasize it much because it's not like it's not like I'm there. I'm struggling, falling down, getting up, trying again. And literally, I keep saying this. If you have not cried, how many of you here have not cried during chanting? Cried, not of course, not in the not stage of prema crying. Helplessness crying. And Prabhupada said, cry like a child. Literally, we should cry. And if we cry, then you can see how will those anarthas stand in front of us? Because Radharani is, Prabhupada says, she is the most merciful, feminine aspect of the Lord. He says. So Radharani will definitely shower mercy. But we have to cry. How many of us cry during chanting, saying that Krishna, I am asking for pure devotional service by chanting Hare Krishna, but I'm not even qualified. I have so many nonsense anarthas. And literally feeling so remorseful that we should have tears in our eyes. If we are able to cry with these, feelings of really fallen, being in a fallen state, we will come out. We will come out. We have to cry. There is no other option. If nothing else works, child cries, right? So we have to simply cry. We can do our attempts, etc., etc. And even if we are not doing our attempts, still we should cry. Krishna saying that I'm not even trying, Krishna. I'm so fallen. Please help me. That is the reason I took up these sections, right? These are like, I mean, if you just delve into the depth of, the philosophy here, no way we will end up remaining in this material world. Okay, anything else? And just like solution to all problems, right? If I don't have discipline, I'll associate with devotees who have discipline. And this is another thing actually we should, I mean, this is something that I learned of late. Um, is to look at people inside the house and also learn. Like I do this now. Previously, I never used to. I used to always think, like I'm very advanced. But now I see that there are different aspects. That someone is better in some aspect, someone is better in some other aspect. And even looking at devotees and uh, just learning. I know so many devotees who have qualities that I would, I'm wanting to, desiring to have them. Somebody so enthusiastic, somebody so humble, and I am fortunate to be in the midst of all such devotees, and I keep saying that, oh my God, I actually day before I was telling my wife the other day, I met somebody. So we had put this stall on this 22nd, in front of a temple, and when we put the stall, the shop garage door was, like the shutters were down. So I thought nobody is here, right? Because it was already like 6:30. They are not open the shop, so we just put the table there. And then in 10 minutes, that shop owner came. They opened the shutters, and then immediately I asked, saying that, "Oh, sorry, we are blocking your entrance. We'll move that side." They said, "No, no, no, it's okay, B," because the temple, Rama temple, was just in front of their shop, and there were like thousands of people. He said, "No, no, no, don't worry, just keep it." And then that lady, uh, who was there in the shop, and she came out, and she had come to our center once or twice, and so she was generally talking. And then I was talking, and then I felt like completely nothing in her heart, as in, she was so clean and so nice and so gentle, and because I don't have these qualities, and when I looked at her, and I felt like, oh my God, like, not even a devotee, such amazing qualities. Then I started meditating, saying that, we should also, I mean, I'm practicing devotional service, all this, but I don't have these basic qualities that are expected. And one person, just by dint of how they've lived their previous life or their desires, so sattvic, so nice, so humble, so pleasing. And I felt like I felt very motivated, saying that, I also have to develop. I'm trying, but I'm not succeeding, but it's just inspiring. It just inspires, right? So many things we can keep seeing around us, like that, that Avadhuta, who had so many gurus, right? He was seeing even a bee and he was learning. So like that, we should not close our eyes. So many beautiful devotees, beautiful people around us with so many nice qualities that we don't have. We should look at them, learn from them, ask them how they are able to manage what they do, and learn. And if nothing works, like I said, just cry. Just cry. Simply, it'll absolutely work. I've seen this multiple times. It has helped me. Just crying. But for us to be able to cry, we should have reached that frustration point, meaning we don't like what we see, and we're trying, but we're not able to get over. Right? Then only we will cry. That those tears are not going to come. Those are not going to be crocodile tears because nobody's there. We don't have a camera in front of us. Right? Those tears are genuine, and those tears will come only when we have genuinely felt the pain of not being there, of being stuck wherever we are stuck. Anyway, this is what I mean. Which is why this when I read this Prabhupada's purpose, it just keeps sitting. Do something, try. Why are you just mm, anyway, can go on a whole day, going. Yeah, okay. Yeah, Ruchira Mataji, you were
Hare
saying
Krishna
something.
Prabhu.
Yeah,
Uh,
Shruti Mataji.
I just wanted to say that when in during my initial days, or I would say whenever Maya is, dominating in me, then I was thinking why Prabhupada has given us so many strict rules, that too
Mm,
in the age of Kali.
mm,
I was always thinking when if at all Prabhupada was there in this era,
mm,
maybe he would have given lesser rules. Was
mm,
I was always thinking like that. But
mm,
today, when I heard that Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur, right, Prabhu, you said his lectures were 3 hours.
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Then I was thinking, oh my God, 3 hours, and we are struggling to listen to 1 hour lecture.
Yeah.
So it is already discounted, and I am so fallen that I still I was thinking about even more discounts, like
Yeah.
lesser, rules or something like that. But
Yeah.
no, and that is not how it is going to work, is
Yeah.
what I
Yeah. This is the
realized
only.
again.
Yeah. 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 Nice. Yeah, we have to accept this because if we don't accept this, we're not going to make progress. We'll be
Yes,
there.
sir.
We'll float. We can call ourselves a devotee. We can wear a kantimala. We can get initiated. We can have, tulsi beads. We can wear a tilak. All that is fine. But we're not going to get Krishna. Yeah, Ruchira Mataji, you were saying something? Okay. Okay. So I think we'll end here. So Krishna willing, we'll meet again tomorrow. श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, जगत गुरु शिल प्रभुपाद की जय, वांछा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिंधु पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। हरे कृष्णा।